markets and everything.
And so this was in the afternoon that the picnic was, right?
Yeah,
Or
that was after.
would they have food there? Would they serve food? No. Ice cream or anything
Ice
like?
cream, pop.
Yeah.
You didn't have any money those days. You didn't get money to spend. You maybe got an ice cream cone or something like that. But they had sandwiches there.
Yeah.
But them sandwiches was...
But back in about 1941, wasn't it a 4th of July picnic where Marilyn tried to give me a drink of pop? Or I think it was 1940, actually. I was a pretty little girl. I had been born in April. And she thought I should have some pop, too. She was only about 6.
Yeah, I remember that happening, but I wouldn't know what year it was.
Yeah, well, and anyway, what happened then?
Well, she thought she could drink out of the bottle like she did. Or I don't suppose she had the glass. Maybe she had the glass.
How did I do?
I don't think you done very good.
Drilled it?
I didn't even see that done, but Mother said it.
Did you have a birthday cake when you were a boy?
Yes, it's a rule.
Would there usually be a...
Mother would bake a birthday cake.
Mm-hmm. And would it be, I mean, would it be like...
Oh, it was nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy, but maybe 2 layers sometimes in that, with a filling in or a frosting in between? They have some such things as
We,
frosting?
as a rule, generally had a cake for Sunday. As a rule, of course, Millie got that. She was that old, and Millie
Yeah.
would bake the cakes.
Mhm.
Mother did bake cake. Millie baked.
Did you even have chocolate sometimes?
Sure,
Yeah.
chocolate cake.
And tell me about, just, can you think of just one of your school teachers? I've heard you mention even a couple of them in your life.
Well, I had 3 teachers in my life.
Oh, well, who were they?
Florence Potch,
Okay.
and I don't just know whether she taught 2 years, and then we had Flora Mowdy for 4 years, and then I had Amelia Schrum the rest of my life.
And Amelia's still living, isn't she?
She had, I think she's 97 or 7 years old.
She's 97 years old, huh?
She was born in 1901.
So she wasn't much older, no, 1901 wouldn't be right, because you were born 1898.
91.
1891 then.
1891.
Yeah.
She was born a year before George. George was born 1892.
I see.
George went to coronation school with her.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
I don't actually know just how many years she was my teacher.
She really wasn't that much older than you though, because she was only...
Well, she was 91. I was born 98, 7 years.
Yeah, but I mean, she was, you know, she was a young woman
She
probably.
was a young girl when she was probably 16 years old when she
When she-
started teaching. She moved out in our neighborhood there,
I see.
and they lived out there, and of course,
Was she any relation to Rudy?
she was Rudy's sister.
Oh, she was Rudy's sister. I see.
Will Schramm's sister.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Emmeline's husband? Emmeline Schrumm's sister-in-law, would she
Yeah.
have? Yeah. I see. And then Miss Potch, one day we were looking through some things and we have a picture of
Florence
her.
was her first
Yeah.
name.
Didn't she live in with the...
She lived in with Ben Miller's, you know.
Yeah, because
She
when
boarded.
the teacher would come, they would,
And somebody have to board him.
yeah, and didn't you sometimes get there early in the morning and start the fire for the teacher?
Well, I did not then yet.
No, but I mean,
For Amelia Schramm, I done that all the time.
You would be the first one there?
Yeah, I would be first one there. I wanted to do that purposely, because then the schoolhouse would be warm. Otherwise, they'd come and the schoolhouse was so cold and the kids all with nobody. And I'd get there a quarter after 8, and I'd have that schoolhouse warm.
How would you get there?
Walk.
Well, and
Right,
how
cross
far?
fields, all
And
over.
about, would you say maybe half a mile?
Yeah,
About a half.
right cross fields I would go.
And would there be any coals burning yet when you came in, maybe?
No, that was all out.
Yeah. So what would you have to do to prepare it?
Take the ashes out, clean the ashes out, and
Take them outside and dump them?
sure it had to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And,
Can you tell us about your first car? You remember how that came into your hands, or did you go and buy it, or was that a...
Dad bought the first car we had
Yeah.
over in 1918.
But is that the one that he gave you when you got married?
No, we got that one when I got married. I got that one the year that we got married.
Oh,
That we had in 1918 up till that time.
and anyway, then you'd gotten one, like, you got married in May and you'd bought one, or he had bought one
Got
earlier.
it We got it 2 days, we got it on the 13th of April, 13th of May, and I got married the 14th of May.
And then he said to you, that's your car,
He
right?
didn't tell me then.
Or he
He
told you,
didn't tell me that until the 10th of August when
said you were gonna leave,
when
right?
I was leaving.
Yeah.
I told him I had to take, wanted to take the clothes, take my clothes, to take it to town.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I could do that or something like that. And he says, the car will be yours. Or that car is yours.
And what kind did you say that was?
I didn't know.
And what year, that would have been a 1925 Overland?
Yeah.
And did it have windows that rolled up and down? Yeah.
It's a sedan.
And
The first
did
sedan.
Did it run by gasoline?
And why else?
Well, I didn't know if they had kerosene at some time in cars. What's the thing that has given you the most pleasure in life that you can think of?
Not very much.
But I mean, what have you really enjoyed when you look back?
Can't think of anything.
Well, you kind of like the cattle buying a little bit, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but what did I do cattle buying? That didn't amount to nothing.
Oh, well, when we talk about it, it seemed like that was a part of your
I
life.
wasn't making money. I always wanted to see how to make money. I think the best job I had, if I should tell the truth, was down there at the arsenal.
Yeah.
That's, I was pretty steady, and I went every day. Of course, I had to go, and
What's the most you ever made an hour? Would you think?
I think 334.
Yeah, and nowadays I think 335 is minimum wage, isn't it? But of course you've been retired now for quite a while, haven't you?
I retired from the arsenal.
And how many years would you say? I mean, you were age 6.
17 years I was there, but I wasn't there steady. I was.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm asking you. You retired when you were how old? Was it 67?
Yeah, I was 67.
And so that's
65.
about 25 years almost. Well, by the time you're 92, that you've been retired that long already. Boy, I bet that doesn't seem possible. When you were 6 years old.
How is that thing operating?
Yeah, yeah. When you were 6 years old, isn't it true that a baby sister came into your home?
Yeah.
And what was her name?
Would you hold this, please? Just keep that in your hands, please.
Yeah,
I need to get your hands down.
yeah. Keep your hands more down. You want his legs down a little bit,
That's
his
okay.
knees? Or we're okay?
It's okay.
Yeah. But keep your hands away from your face. Okay, so this little baby was born, and what was her name? Yeah. And how did you find out she'd been born?
I don't know why. Gee, Elda would be mad if she'd hear that all stuff.
Oh, I don't see what'd be wrong, but how
She'd say, what sense is that?
well, but I mean,
We went to school, and
this would have been on a,
and we came
October
over from
20th.
school, and Libby Hockey met us down by the school. Or you come up to our house, you're gonna have supper with us. And so he wasn't even home. And then they told us that their mother was over there by my mother, and there was a baby there.
yeah. And so when you got home then, what happened?
Well, we saw the baby.
I mean, somebody
And
carried,
Sophie carried the mother was in bed. And Sophie carried the baby out and showed us the baby sister.
and she was wrapped in blankets,
Yeah.
and you were how old then?
6 years old.
6 years old, yeah. And
And,
you didn't offer her a little drink of soda pop, did you, like my 6-year-old sister did?
Millie didn't even go to school anymore, but Millie was over there too by Hawkey's.
Oh,
Charlie he was, I suppose, working, and
Yeah.
he was home, but Millie, they had sent her over by Hawkey's too.
who did you sleep with the night that she was baptized? The night before or the night after?
God, I hate to tell. That's the silliest stuff I ever
Oh,
heard of.
well, that's kind of makes it comical.
She'd have to,
That's a little comical about
I don't see anything.
About the first night, you know, you went and you slept with, wasn't it one guy? John Hockey or something? Or who was it? Or was it Henry Hockey, or who, Uncle John Hockey?
Uncle John Hawkey.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. I was in bed sleeping, and they,
And when you woke up, there was somebody there,
he
huh?
was there, maybe he was getting up, I don't know.
Yeah. What'd he give you?
Give me a nickel. Sleeping for him.
Well, you thought that was okay.
Well, I know, but I was pretty little, I guess.
Yeah.
See, Elda was baptized.
Sure.
And they all came to the baptism, and why nobody went home, I don't know. But I suppose a lot of people did go home, but their particular
They had
ones
come
didn't
from
go home.
Indiana, hadn't they?
They
Yeah.
came from Indiana. But that the next night I slept with Uncle Charlie.
And Uncle Charlie Weber, was it?
Yeah, and he had a wooden leg. He took his leg off. But I didn't see, I was asleep, and I didn't know either until he got up in the next morning, and he had to put his wooden leg on. And then, he gave me a quarter.
The next night?
I cried because I was probably just so disappointed, you know, to see something like that. I don't remember whether I cried or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if I cried, because.
The next night Frank said, "Who's coming tonight?" I wanted to ask you about the Coliseum in Manhattan. That to me, that sounds like a pretty swanky place, was it?
It was a nice place.
Was it a nice place? And where was it located? Was it across the street from the St. Paul's United Church of Christ where it is now?
It was down there where Long's, only it was big, and it was, and where our property was across, up there.
On Thelma?
Yeah, that was a hitching post. People could tie their horses. And that was a big place that covered a lot of ground.
I would think that you had to tie a lot of horses when people came for a dance.
There was no horses, there was no cars at that time.
No, but I say a lot of horses came, didn't they?
Sure. There was hitching posts on the other side too.
Yeah.
But all up there was.
But was the whole black block where Grassmeyer's and that lived, was that all part of the?
Oh no.
No, not that part.
That was still Grassmeyer's house was there already.
I see. But the Coliseum, what did they do there?
Yes.
And was that the only thing mainly that they did? But yeah. And what would the music be like? Somebody play a fiddle?
No, the orchestra would come. They had a place to sit where the orchestra sat.
With the drums and things like that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And did you ever take Mother there?
Yes, I guess I took Mother there.
Yeah. What did it finally burn down?
Yeah, it was burned
And
down. And then Eugene Herman owned it.
Had you been married already by the time it burned down?
I think it burned down while I was working in the store, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say that for sure either, but I think it was when I was working in the store it burned down.
Wasn't there something about when you were...
Gene Herman owned it.
And was Gene Herman, he's the one that owned that hotel?
Yeah. Well, that was really the Herman.
The Herman.
Hotel was it.
You mean his father even?
Yeah, his father built that.
Yeah.
Right.
And then down the street a little bit was that Evans Hotel, right?
Yeah.
And they had a restaurant in there.
Yeah.
And did you sometimes stop in there on your way home from work and to get a cup of coffee or?
Well, maybe when I worked at the Arsenal.
But not when you came home from the store?
No, not.
But what was the occasion that you were in there that one night and somebody said to you, "Let's see how many pies we can eat"?
Well, it was in our